Right. So let's do it.
All right, here we go.
All
Hey,
right.
what's up, guys? Long time no see.
Right?
Hey, bud, what's up?
Good.
I'm
Vince,
digging the
Tyler,
green helmet back there. Did you purposely light that up? It's pretty sweet.
the Sam DeLorean.
The Sandalorian.
Ooh.
What?
Yeah,
Nice.
man. I'm gonna wait for a couple of people to get to their seats down in front. We're gonna
Right.
hold the house.
That's right.
Old theater saying. Gonna let the fans trickle on in. Gonna have a delayed start.
That's right.
How was your guys' weekend, man? Let's start with a little bit of chit chat.
Sure. I went up to Reno on Saturday and helped my sister load up a U-Haul because she's moving across the country. And I got one war wound on my arm. You can kind of see it like right here.
Oh
Uh,
damn.
Other than that, no real injuries or anything. Couple scrapes, going downstairs. You know how it goes. But yeah, got to help her load up a truck because she's not really capable of doing that herself. So
Thanks,
that,
brother.
that was that was a long day. I woke up at like 3 a.m. We left by 3:30, and we were home the same day on Saturday. So that was a long day.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And we did celebrate some good sports news. We also had to deal with some bad sports news. But overall, you had a good weekend, Vince.
I think so. Yeah. Overall, yeah.
Cool. Tyler, how was
Yeah,
your weekend,
man. Vince, you ever seen the movie like Other Guys?
I actually have not. No, I've missed that
Okay.
one.
There's a prolific scene in there where like they go to a bar.
Prolific. Ooh.
Yeah. And like they basically, I don't want to use cuss words here, but they basically say some words and then the party breaks out in the bar. But it's all like slow motion and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay, I remember what scene you're talking about now. Okay.
So Sam and I were celebrating Lisa's birthday thing, right? And we go to dinner, and then
This was
we go to this
great.
bar, right? And it was like Patty Flynn's, right? Patty Flynn's bar, which I was calling Patty's Pub, right?
Okay.
We get in there. The bartender is super Irish. The
Okay.
patrons are super Irish. Like they came from a boat and just went straight to this bar, okay? So Julia is picking music, and I'm telling
My
Julia,
partner. For
yeah.
those who don't know, that's my life partner. It's my girl.
I'm telling Julia, make sure you pick correctly. Like, don't pick anything out of pocket. We're at an Irish bar, like it's pretty Irish. So she
Yeah.
picks flogging mollies, and
Okay.
you know,
Just keeps it safe.
Huge hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge hit. Bars
the bartender
like,
comes over and he goes, "Is this you picking this?" And she goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Right on, go ahead." Right? Says stuff like that to her. Right?
Keep on picking.
So
Terrible
it's a-
accent, by the way, but shout out.
Yeah.
It's a smash hit, right? So all of a sudden, these three guys walk in, and they look like they came from like Jersey, just like beef out dudes, roid ragers, like just dudes here that are gonna cause some problems if you look at them the wrong way, right?
Right.
All of a sudden, we're sitting down, and these sweet musics that we were filling the room becomes Backstreet Boys.
Oh snap.
And I was like, okay, well, let's see what happens. And what song was it, Sam? I
Gotta
want
be
it that way.
That way.
Yeah.
Oh
That's the
my
one that's the
gosh.
first one that everybody plays.
Yeah.
When they go Backstreet Boys.
These four guys that walked into the bar start belting the song at the top of their lungs, and I'm sitting there going,
Word
"Are they
for
singing
word.
this song?"
Knew every lyric.
Hey. It's a catchy song. Come on.
It was, dude.
Come
It
on.
absolutely is. Yeah.
And then we got involved, so we're at our little booth. We're in the corner, singing along. Oh my god, it was great, dude.
I mean,
It was
just
so great.
the whole bar started singing this whole entire song, and I just looked at Julia. I was like, I don't even understand what's happening right now. This is great. I love this.
I'm actually glad that Julia didn't pick it. Like, and she let one of the
No, she picked
No,
it.
no, no. She
No,
picked
she
it.
picked
Oh,
it.
she picked it. Okay, I
No,
misunderstood that
she
part
picked it, and then we
of it. Okay,
were like,
I thought the
it came
meatheads
on.
picked it.
No,
That's
so
the-
she's playing
okay.
Flogging Molly and whatnot.
Right,
And then
yeah.
so she picked like 20 songs,
Okay.
and that was like song number 4 or
Okay.
3, something like that. And so she sits down, we're listening, we're getting down, getting our beers, and that song comes on, and then we look at her like, why did you do this? And then everybody starts singing it, and it was just, it was pie in our face, but it was amazing.
If it works, it works, right?
Yeah, it's one of those memories that I will have probably for the rest of my life. And be like, that was
were
the most
feeling it.
randomest
yeah,
fun experience I've ever had.
Right.
for sure. We all had great weekends. Sorry, Tim, I got to skip you, buddy. We got a show to do. We got to talk sports. But Tim, you had a good weekend, right? Tim's on our 1s and 2s. You had a good weekend, yes?
Yeah, of course I had a good weekend. Well,
Sir? Awesome.
yeah.
Cool.
Right on.
Guys, I want to start with some Warriors. We got some good news. We kind of said this last time we met when we had a show. We said we think it's going to go 2-2 because the NBA won 7. So, Vince, why don't you start off with some stats, kind of recap the game, and then we'll get into it.
All right, game 3, the Warriors down Draymond. They were down Gary Payton II. They still pull out the win in an incredible defensive effort, 114-97. And then in game 4, they get both of those players back, and they win a tight one, booty puckered tight, 126-125. Steph Curry actually called a timeout that the Warriors didn't have at the end, and that led to a technical, and then Sacramento got the ball back at the end, and they cut the lead from 4-1 after they made a 3, and so then it just got real tight, man. And they survived though. Harrison Barnes misses the last shot. He missed an open look 3 at the end as time expired. And we all breathed a heavy sigh of relief. I got my cardio in for the day because that was Sunday. It was after I was helping my sister move. I wasn't doing nothing that day. So,
Hey, shout out to Harrison Barnes. True MVP. Clutch non-Warriors player. Love it. Dude, I was yelling at the TV. I was like, what are we doing? This isn't Michigan. This isn't the Fab Five. Why are we calling a timeout with no timeouts? And I remember telling my buddy, I was like, did we just call timeout? And he goes, no, it was the other team. I go, no, I'm pretty sure we just called a timeout. And we don't have any timeouts. I'm like, oh my gosh.
because Warriors were up 5 at that point. Sacramento sinks the free throw to make it 4. And then they get the ball back and then make a 3 to close it to 1. So, yeah, that was, as soon as the challenge happened, and then I noticed right away, there's 0 timeouts. And then Steph was like lackadaisically, taking the ball up the court. I was like, what are you doing? You gotta advance it. There's no timeouts left. And then he called the timeout, and I'm like, oh no.
It was definitely like Chris Webber, right? I think everybody kind of had that reaction of like, oh
That
no,
Fab
Chris
Five.
Webber all over again.
Yeah. That's what I was yelling. I was like, this isn't Michigan. This is the NBA.
Yeah.
You guys should know how many timeouts there are.
Well,
Yeah,
they pulled it out, man.
Yeah.
Like this one kind of felt like it was heading in the final few minutes of the game. We're like, okay, we got this. All right. Oh shit.
Yeah.
We are tight.
Whew.
Yeah.
That was a scary game. I want to recap my day because I had so much anxiety when I watched this game.
Okay, yeah, go for
I
it.
got home. You could see my background is got some A's stuff. There's some figurine stuff. Got a TV here, so I spent a lot of time in my garage watching the games. It's slowly becoming my man cave / studio, right? So I got the game on in here, and the game is getting really tight. It's not looking good. So I ended up getting out into the backyard during halftime, and I started cleaning up the yard and trying to be productive and just work through the anxiety. And then they started doing good in the third quarter and whatnot. And then so I was like, I gotta keep the routine. I'm helping the team. I cleaned the whole backyard. I cleaned the driveway. I dusted the house. I cleaned the windows.
So let me interject here. My mom, whenever we watch like Warriors games specifically, she cannot handle the pressures and the stress of it. So she immediately just starts cleaning the house, cleaning dishes, and she goes, "They're winning when I walk away and start cleaning things." So that's very. I feel what you're going through.
It's
like
very
that.
maternal. It's very
Yeah.
maternal. Man, as soon as that game was over, I was in here screaming and shouting. I thought we were going to give one away and they were going to steal one. And if that happened, I think it's night. Going back to Sacramento. But I think we got a shot. If we're going to steal a game, you got to do it now. You got to do it in game 5 and then bring
Right.
it back and put the series to bed in game 6. Because I agree. I think Tyler was the first one to say it on here. And I think we all agreed if they don't close it out in 6, kind of nervous about 7.
Yeah.
I'd be super nervous. But you know what happens in 6? Now that we are awarded an opportunity to do a game 6, you now get access to unlock game 6 Clay.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's very true. Game 6 Clay is a thing. If they can win in Sacramento, the upcoming games, I should talk about that real quick. Wednesday at Sacramento, 7 p.m. Friday at Golden State, to be determined. Sunday at Sacramento, if necessary. So there's a little bit of a break. We got a couple of days off, but then it's rapid fire every other day for the rest of the series. So if you win in Sacramento, game 5, then you can come home and game 6 Clay can show up and really just put a button on this series. Sacramento, to this point, they've played tough. Obviously, they've been Domantas Sabonis has been kind of a pain in the ass, but overall, I've been pretty impressed with that. They're like what the Warriors were in 2014. You know what I mean? Domantas Sabonis is sort of doing the Draymond thing, being an irritant, like an agitator. DeAndre Fox is a star at this point. He's not
De'Aaron
even
Fox.
De'Aaron Fox, excuse me. Yeah, he's a star at this point. It's not even a star in the making. He's gonna be an All NBA team of some kind. I don't know what first, second, or third, but he's earned that. And this has
Herder's great. I
Yeah.
think that's a steal that Atlanta giving that away. I think that's an absolute steal. He can shoot the lights out. I know he's struggling in this series, but he can shoot the lights
he's a guy
out.
that could show up and wake up at any moment and just
Yep.
Right.
have 4, 5, 6 threes in a game. And you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, this has
that
been a lot of
happened.
fun to watch, man.
Did you guys catch the live audio between Brown and Kerr? When they
Yeah.
were talking to each other
Yeah.
sidelines when he said that we changed all the plays, and then Coach Brown was like, "Hey, everyone's asking me I should know, because I'm part of the thing. I don't know shit."
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's been extremely fun and entertaining, stressful, I think, for both teams. Sacramento, I think, deserves all the flowers that they deserve so far. You're not gonna. The Warriors got, my favorite saying, guys, that championship DNA.
Right.
Championship
People are going to start to think that
DNA.
you actually like that if you keep saying
Just
it like
remember,
that,
just
yeah.
know.
Sam, it's a make or miss league.
I was just going there, dude. You know what really got under my skin? This morning on various local media outlets, they were playing some of the sound bits after the game, and they were asking Steph Curry something, and he was like, "It's a make or miss league." So, of course it is. Just like football's like it's a score touchdown or not league.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything comes down to scoring and making shots and scoring touchdown and
Mhm. Putting
knocking
the
down
biscuit in the
bowling
basket.
pins.
Yeah.
It's about
In bowling,
scoring.
it's a striker miss league.
Yeah. It's a striker spare league, man.
So how did you win the game? I scored more points than the other team.
Yeah, it's just like, oh god,
Dynamite analysis. Yeah.
Yeah, or what's hand down, man down.
Oh, I'm so
other one
glad
is,
we don't have Mark Jackson.
Mama, there goes that man.
There goes that
Uh,
man again. Oh, I'm so glad we don't have him for this series right now. That's
Mark
yeah.
Jackson's like the Nickelback of sports commentary.
The Nickelback.
Yeah, he has his fans, but a lot of people just really love to hate him. I think that's fair at this point. It's kind of obnoxious.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the hits that he's going to do,
The
and they're
best,
kind of
though,
obnoxious.
Is it Harlan with no regard for human life? That's great. No, it was just like a really exciting game, though. the Sacramento Kings have a great team. They are on the come up. If not this year, next year, the next
Yeah.
few years, they're going to be a problem. Like
That's-
they're
that's
a
the
big problem.
That's the exact word I was about to go for. They are going to be a problem for the Western Conference and the league at large going forward.
And you know what? As a Warriors fan, as much as that pains me that this could potentially be the sunset, like as painful as this could be, I'm still extremely appreciative of the championships we've had, because I remember seasons where we barely got to 20. I remember, I remember going to the arena for a couple of bucks, and even no matter who was there, it was a sellout. The fans supported them even when they were dog crap, and weren't winning. The Bay Area has loved the Golden State Warriors, and to see them be so successful. I think in the moment when you reflect back on that first championship, it was like, oh, wow, like we got one. And then all these years later to say there's 4 and you're possibly maybe you get a 5th. I mean, that's huge. It's absolutely historical. But I also remember those tough years, and the Sacramento Kings. We got some friends who are Kings fans, and it's been miserable on them whenever we're talking sports. And Vince, like we got a really good friend that we share that's been a diehard Kings fan, and whenever we talk ball with him, whenever we do get to see him and talk basketball and sports, it's hard for him. It's hard for him. So like as a friend, I'm really happy to see my Sacramento friends like be so happy, even though it pains me that if it were to end this way, it does pain, but I'm on the other side. I'm also happy for him too,
Yeah.
What's funny to me is that I've been reading posts online, and you got your internet trolls and whatnot, but some of them are interesting. Like they're talking about how they think that media is very swayed to the Warriors, and that ESPN pundits, everyone's very high on the Warriors, and yeah, that's definitely true. But I mean, when you've gone to like the last 7 championships, it's like, of course they're going to be high on you. You're the only team that it's constantly always there, But the other two is that like Kings fans like, oh man, like it seems like the Warriors get all these favorable calls. I'm like, hold on, we're on a home court advantage, okay? And Kings fans are getting upset that they think that the games are being rigged for the Warriors, and I will entertain it in this thought. The Warriors probably get some calls and maybe other teams don't in the playoffs, because they've been there so often that referees know their tendencies, especially the good ones that have been in the playoffs. So to say that they get favorable calls, maybe not necessarily favorite, but just a familiarity, right? Like Draymond was playing very physical all game. Probably should have had like 6 fouls by like the third quarter. But you let them play. It's the playoffs. They know their tendencies. Yes, it's an NBA. We're trying to get ratings. We're trying to get people to watch these games. You're getting upset yelling at the TV at Draymond. It's just helping the NBA get more money into it. Let's be honest. Let's be fair with it.
I think every team gets a little bit of a leeway when it's a home court
playoff
game.
Absolutely.
I mean, Sacramento got all the calls in game 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Draymond got suspended for prior history, and Dylan Brooks skates free.
Well, Dylan Brooks, Joel,
there's a history in a shorter amount of time.
But my point being is that it's funny to see all these people get upset that they think there's biasy and this and that. And yeah, sure, maybe there is. I'm not going to say that you're wrong, but I also remember a time when a Thunder mascot used to come to my school to give away free tickets. I remember when the radios used to advertise the opposing team players taking on your Warriors. So it's just fun. I think it's great to see a paradox of what was and what it is now. I love it. The sunset may set onto us, but I get to always think about how we were the dog shit team of the NBA, the Oakland A's of the NBA, and the new ownership came in.
Yeah.
And now look at where we're at.
Prime example. And don't get me started too early.
No,
Let's
no,
further
don't
down
start.
the chain.
Don't
There's
start.
no
I'm-
A's talk coming
that
up.
was my first pull
Don't-
on the lawnmower. You know that never starts anyways. So that's just the first pull.
I don't know, but
Dude.
I don't know what pull you've been doing. Like, anytime I pull the lawnmower chain, like right away, man, every time.
I
My
don't
blood
know.
pressure
Every
can only
time.
take so much.
Don't unleash Bad Sam. Don't
Don't
unleash him.
do-
Not yet. Not yet.
We're saving
It's coming.
Sam DeLorean.
It was-
It's coming.
It was the first pancake. It's not always the best. Wait till we get to the
That's
second.
fair.
Third
Okay,
pancake.
I'll allow that
Vince.
analogy. Sometimes that pan's a little too hot.
Vince, let
Man,
me get you.
that's making me
let's-
hungry.
Let me get you in. What I want in this conversation. What your King's thoughts?
Obviously, like I said, they're kind of mirroring what the Warriors were before, and I mean, the NBA is always looking for the next new hotness, and we thought maybe last year Memphis could have been that, but between Dylan Brooks and John Morant, like, you know, getting a little bit out of pocket, maybe now it's going to be the Kings kind of being the next new hotness that the NBA is going to try to, you know, push up a little bit and, you know, market to everybody else as like a small market team that is doing it big, man. And we'll see how that goes. My brother actually lives in Sacramento, and so he gets to watch a lot of Kings games. His wife actually is a Kings fan. So we've been having a lot of fun conversations about that as well.
Oh,
so.
dang. I didn't know that.
You know what's
Ooh.
funny about that is that I'm actually a king.
Okay.
Never mind. All right, I'm gonna slink into the background now.
You go back into the studio, Tim. You go
just
work
one
on
note.
more jokes.
One last note for Game 5: De'Aaron Fox is doubtful at this point. He's got a on his shooting
He's
hand.
playing.
It's
He's
either broken
playing.
or dislocated finger. I think he's probably gonna play, but I don't know how. Yeah, it's on the shooting hand, so he's gonna be hamstrung a bit.
I'm saying
Yeah.
if he's that dude, and you want to relive the Kobe Bryant moment, he playing.
Oh no,
Keep playing.
I think he's gonna give it as much of a go as he possibly can. We'll see what happens and how well that works. Talking about something that works and maybe doesn't work is the Giants have not really been doing all that well. They're 3-4 in the last 7 games last week. They went 1-2 against Miami. They dropped the first 2 games of the series and then won the final. Then they come home, they play the Mets. They drop the first 2 games of that series, but then win the last 2. Next up, they got the Cardinals, and then they're at San Diego. So they're hitting both Sam and Tyler's teams next. They're currently 8-13. They're 4th in the NL West. We thought that they would be a 500 ball club. They're 5 games under right now, and they're coming up against a couple of tough teams.
I do admit though that Giants roster letting go of Carlos Rondon to the Yankees, I think that hurts a lot more than maybe they realized. Like I know they were trying to get Aaron Judge and whatnot, but I think reality they probably should have loaded up more in their pitchers. DeScalani Fellini is been pretty good. Webb has been kind of subpar. I know he got that big deal, the $90 million contract, but he really hasn't shown up yet. It's still early in the season. He's got at least another 17 to 22 starts.
I expect they'll probably have a 5-game win streak at some point this year. I can't say that for the A's, but they'll probably, and like I said, they'll get back to 500. I would imagine they're a mediocre team, and sometimes teams get a little bit hot, they'll get a little cold. They started off a little cold to start the year, I guess. So
Yeah, they
they'll probably pick it
can't
up.
all be the Rays. That team that we picked.
Yeah, the team that we ignored. God damn, we suck.
They're like 13-0 at home. Own the
Early.
MLB record for
Still
that.
early.
They were
Still
like
early.
13-0 to start a season. Own the MLB record in that.
Still early. I think the
Well, anyways.
Giants are just going to be a ho hum team. They're gonna win some games. They're gonna lose a bunch of games. Like they're just gonna be a streaky team, and I think that's kind of the Giants' future with Farhan Zaidi and Gabe Kapler. It's just they're gonna manage this thing out of the laptop, out of the spreadsheet. And I don't think that's going to win you too many ball games. I think the year that they, won 100 and what games, 104, 105 or something like that.
It was 106, I thought.
106.
Yeah, maybe 108, something like that. Anyway.
you know, they were
couple
a
years ago.
really good team, and I think everything really had to go right for them to be successful. So I think that season is the outlier, you know, and this season and the other seasons are that's kind of what you're getting. And, you know, we as A's fans, we know who Farhan Zaidi is. He really, you know, he started with the A's and really made a big name for himself when he went to the Dodgers. But he wasn't the only guy with the Dodgers. You know, it's not like he brought all of those scouts over and, you know, things like that. It has to really sync up well. And for whatever reason, right or wrong, good or bad, it just seems like, you know, they held on to Bruce Bochy, you know, an extra year. They held on to all these aging stars for a few years. And that's kind of like the downside of winning all these championships. And you could say the Giants did the right thing by showing loyalty in keeping a lot of these players and manager.
But look at Bruce Bochy now.
Yeah,
And
and
the
came
Rangers
back.
are
You know,
hot.
he
They're like
came
one of the
back.
best teams.
Yeah, I mean,
DeGrom's
and
a
I'm
horse.
glad, and you know, I'm really glad that the Rangers are doing good with a manager like Bruce Bochy, because I think it just shows that, you know, the guys who don't, you know, Bruce Bochy, you think he's managing out of a laptop?
No, he's always
yeah,
said
he's-
he's a gut coach. He goes with
Exactly.
a gut feeling.
You know, exactly. I mean, these World Series that he won with the, you know, with the Giants, how he managed his pitching staff, all 3 championships. You know, of course they had big hits along the way, but managing that pitching staff for those runs, you know, he's a Hall of Famer. And
Well, to be fair though, those World Series, and any Giants fan can come to my road if they think I'm wrong here, but those are the most pressure-packed World Series. I mean, you know, playoff runs in general. Those Giants were not scoring runs. If they scored 7 runs in a game, it was amazing. I mean, they were winning 1-run games, which is usually how most teams end up winning the World Series anyways. And to mention, you know, the D-backs just let go of Bumgarner, who, you know, pitched a full 9 innings in the World Series, and then came back and pitched game 7 or whatever the heck it was.
Yeah,
and
he did another
4 other
5
innings.
innings. Yeah, he
Yeah,
did
the
5 innings to
Bumgarner
close that
series.
game. Yeah,
the Bumgarner year,
Okay.
where
Yeah.
2014.
you know,
yeah.
Bumgarner.
I mean, their
that
pitching
whole
was
run by
top
him.
notch,
Yeah,
from top to bottom.
And that being
So-
said, none of those teams were even favorites going in. Like
No.
they really busted their ass to get the job done.
yeah. So I think it just shows that a manager who goes off of feel, who knows his staff, is in tune with the entire operation. He's going to be able to, you know, pull the strings, and I think we saw that a little bit with Bob Melvin. But as we know, the A's are dedicated to the spreadsheet. So I think even Bob Melvin, even with some of the freedoms he had, I think as A's fans, we all saw that sometimes the spreadsheet, you know, got in the way of Bob Melvin's full potential. And as loaded as the San Diego Padres are, I think we're seeing a little bit of handcuffing as well, where Bob Melvin is kind of, you know, he's with a team that has a lot more money and a lot more resources, and they're doing pretty good, right? We still think they're going to win a lot of games over the course of the season, but he's still kind of handcuffed. He's not fully managing by his gut at all times in all situations. Like he is restricted to the spreadsheet sometimes. You know, and like I would like to see more coaches kind of revert back to old school baseball with the new rules that are bringing some excitement, bringing the pace of play up. You know, I would like to see the managing game return too.
Yeah.
I think that's also exciting in baseball. Is seeing the managers go head to head and outmaneuver one another. You know, that's a lot of fun too. Baseball has all these games within games. So,
Don't worry,
any
you're not
final
going to see
thoughts
the
on the
Oakland
Giants?
A's do it though.
what's that?
You're not going to see the Oakland A's outmanage anyone else. I just want
No.
to see the Oakland A's not give up double-digit runs in one series. That'd be nice. I'm pretty sure every series they've given up more than 10 runs in a game in the series.
Yeah, I mean their run differential is historically bad. I mean it is awful.
We actually
But I'm not
have
going to
it-
come down Mark Kotze's road. I mean,
What do we expect from
Like-
Mark Kotze? He can only do
Yeah.
so much.
no matter what string he pulls, like there's going to be guys who they're not ready for the big leagues, or there's a something, this team, and it's not to knock these guys. It's a very young team. There's a lot of guys trying to figure out how they're going to fit in baseball, and we're rooting for them to be successful, because if they become successful, hopefully this season, maybe we start to see some wins, and we want to see some wins, even if they're not a very good team right now. We want to see the young guys who are, maybe they come back next year, future seasons, guys you can build around. It takes time to build a really good roster. So I'm just hoping that some of those highlights start to shine through, and it's really hard for me to judge Kotsay when, he was on Twitter, was trending a little bit a couple weeks ago when he said it just feels like it's not really a competitive team right now. And I just think they don't really know, like, they don't really know how right now, as a team. I think they're just all trying to figure out who they are in the league, what type of hitter they are in the league. Like, there's no core players right now. I guess you can make a case for Ramon Laureano, but the moment he strings together a solid month, like if he puts together a solid 2-3 weeks, he gone. Like,
well, him and Tony Kemp, I think, are gone.
Yeah,
they're the only pieces that are worth trading that have any value at the moment, and that's based on history. That's not even based on what's happening this year.
Give us the scores real quick, because I want to get more into this.
So last week the A's went 0-3 versus the Cubs, including a 10-1 loss, a 4-0 loss, and a 12-2 loss. And then they go to Texas. They go 1-2. They get the win 5-4, and then lose 18-3 and 5-2. Next up, they're at the LA Angels, and then they come home and play the Cincinnati Reds. They're 4 wins against 15 losses, which is dead last in the AL West. And I'm not even going to bother with like where they're standing in the AL at large at this point. They're already at the bottom, and we'll just, if that changes, I'll let you know. But
I mean, their run differential is minus 103.
Yeah.
We're, what, 22 games, 23 games, 24 games,
22 games in.
22 games.
I don't know about you, but I'm not feeling this 22.
I mean, that's crazy. Like I said, I think every series they've given up double-digit runs. 10-1, 12-2, and Texas 18-3. That's crazy. Like, I know Kotsay has his hands tied as to what he could deal with, but man, I don't know how. Fuck it, I'm gonna pull the Band-Aid off. I don't know how Manfred could sit here and say that it's not the owner's fault. I mean, these kids are like AA ball players. They're not even AAA ball players. Their defense is terrible. I'm pretty sure we lead the league in errors. We definitely lead the league in run differentials as far as being a negative stat. I'm willing to bet that we probably lead the league in errors. This team is not ready to take on a major league roster, let alone be on a major league roster. So, and there's no knock on them. They're just shitty owner and put them in a shitty situation just to look shittier. So I don't know. I said my 2 piece. I'll let you guys. I've ripped the Band-Aid off. You go ahead and let the blood flow.
Daryl is actually in the chat. Yes, we are live, and we're about 20 seconds delayed based on YouTube versus what we're actually saying, but we're as close to live as live gets. So yeah, we're here. We're talking, and we're ready to roll for anybody out there.
What's up, Daryl?
What's up?
Hey, Daryl.
Thank you for sending those facts over. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, it's time we rip the Band-Aid off. There's a lot to get into, and we're going to continue to cover this. Before I lose my mind and lose all
sense of time and decorum.
Yeah, I got to shout out some folks. So let me scroll down here to my little cheat sheet. There's been some folks on Twitter that I've been interacting with, and I want to shout them out. We all know about Casey Pratt, Birdie Brazil, who've been covering the A's and the stadium deal and all of that. And big time shout out for mainstream media, Damon Amendolara. If you're an A's fan, he's kind of been one of the national voices we've been able to get behind, because he's actually doing the work to research what's going on here in Oakland, and he is infinitely better than me at articulating what's really going on. And because, you know, he's a real journalist and a real broadcaster. I'm a dude in a garage with a podcast talking about the teams that I care about and that I'm interested in with my friends and trying to be a part of my local community, you know? And every video he talks about the A's, he's on, it's just hitting the nail on the head. So shout out to him, but I also want to shout out some A's fans on Twitter. They've been organizing some events, and I really want to get that said even more. If somehow people don't know about it, please check out, you know, the hashtag Oakland Forever. You could check out rootedinoakland.org. April 28th is a big game. The A's are returning back to the Coliseum, and it's going to be a protest game. At the Bart Footbridge, we would like all A's fans to meet there at 5 p.m. Coliseum Footbridge, and they're going to walk over to the stadium. And the purpose of that is to demand the sale of the Athletics to an owner that wants to keep them in Oakland. So right now, John Fisher, Dave Kaval are trending on Twitter, and we need to keep that energy going. And we also need to add Rob Manfred to that, because this is a commissioner that really doesn't like baseball. He's not really interested in baseball. We have seen his quotes repeated. He's said dumb things year after year after year. To these guys, it's not just the owners of, it's not just John Fishers of the world. It's also the Rob Manfreds, is that they're selling us a product that we love. They don't love this game, and they don't love the product that it gives. To them, it's a personal ATM. If this was any other franchise, and this was literally the Los Angeles Dodgers just a few years ago with Frank McCourt. If you don't know anything about Frank McCourt or the situation, do yourself a solid and research it. Google it. Look it up. Baseball has intervened and stepped in and made owners sell the team to an owner that's going to keep them in their home market. There's also another protest on June 13th that's a reverse boycott. What we would like to do as A's fans is pack the house. And I understand where some people would say, well, isn't that the complete opposite of what you guys are trying to do, or what a boycott is? John Fisher's just going to get more money from you. Yes, that's true. Unfortunately, that's a necessary evil, a necessary tactic that we must take as fans. But what we're going to try to show the world is that we're ready to support this team. We're ready to buy memorabilia. We're ready to buy beer and food and support these players. And we're also, what I would personally like to do is I want these current players to feel the roar of the crowd and to feel the passion that Oakland has to offer from its fans. I want them to feel a playoff atmosphere one time in Oakland, even on a meaningless Tuesday afternoon game. I just really want them to feel that passion, that love that we have for them and the support that we give. And it's just, we're not going to take this line down. There is precedent. This happened to the Sacramento Kings. Shout out them, where their broadcasters were on air crying, and they thought this team was gone. And the NBA did the right thing and stepped in and assisted the city of Sacramento in keeping the Kings. And we know about this with other teams. We've seen teams that left their home market, the Chargers, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and we see with those markets after the fact. We see Seattle and San Diego without those teams. And it's just absolutely heartbreaking, the void that it leaves in the souls of its fans. Oakland has been here for 50 plus years. It's generational, and we would like to continue that generational love with future friends, family, going forward. So I'll leave it there, guys. I know you want to get in, and I know there's a lot of F-bombs on the way, so
I want to
let's go.
I'm probably gonna go. Well, I'm gonna go. I just need to buy my ticket for June 13th, and I think we're probably gonna all do it together.
Yeah, dress in black. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm treating it as a funeral.
Well, you can. Yeah, I have no
That's
problems with you
that's
dressing
my
too.
that's
But
how I'm going. Yeah.
Sam
Respect.
and Vince, would you guys be curious about doing a live show there? If we can, right? Get there a little early. Just do like a quick little live show. And I kind of want to propose, if we can, see if we can pass out just little pieces of paper that have a chant. And the chant that I've always wanted to do because of Sam, whenever Tony Kemp goes up to bat. Now, obviously, we want to be PC and not there's children involved. The chant being, he's there, he's there,
He's here. He's there.
he's every freaking where, Tony Kemp. And we just shout it out. Can you imagine a 30,000 seat ballpark just all shouting out at once as Tony's going up to bat? And Tony gets to feel that energy and that vibe of fans doing something like that. Now, we've personally have met Tony Kemp, and he's told us that people in his
Friend
life
of the
have
show.
said that to him.
Friend of the pod. Friend of the pod.
Yeah.
Friend of the pod.
He's said personally that
We're
people
pod
have said
pals.
that to him, and he laughs. You know, he thought it was annoying at first, but now he's like, it's funny, it's hilarious, I love it.
He
So
says his wife
To-
sings it to him.
Tony's on board. So I think it'd be fun to pass out a little piece of paper that says he's there, he's there, or he's there, he's
here.
there,
He's there.
he's here, he's
every
there,
freaking
he's
where.
every freaking where, Tony Kemp. And I think that would be fun
Let's do
to
it.
pass out.
Let's do it.
All right, sounds great. I mean, it's
That'll
not
be
the
fun.
first time the A's have utilized a soccer chant for a player. I'm looking at you, Stephen Vogt.
Exactly. You can't ask a player to change
Hey,
their music, so you're not
Stephen
going to get
Vogt,
a Balfour
I caught a foul
rage.
ball from him when I went to Seattle, and that was the first and only foul ball I ever got in my life. So shout out Stephen Vogt. Thank you, sir.
Nice. Yeah, I do want to read the quote that Rob Manfred fed to the press.
Oh, here
Um,
we go, Vince.
I feel sorry for the fans in Oakland. I really do. But for the city of Oakland to point fingers at John Fisher, it's not fair. We have shown an unbelievable commitment to the fans in Oakland by exhausting every possible opportunity to try and get something done in Oakland. Unfortunately, the government doesn't seem to have the will to get it done. We here at the SVT podcast are calling the bullest of shits. I wanted to give him a pseudo Cartman-like voice because he's a villain, and Cartman is a villain in South Park. If
The voice I got from that, it's the same actor, right? That
Yeah.
does Cartman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the weird scientist guy that wears
Oh,
the
oh yeah,
onion
yeah,
shirt.
yeah.
That's
yeah,
what
I,
that voice was.
I couldn't find the Cartman initially. I started to find him a little bit toward the end there, but
I thought it was pretty good, man.
Yeah,
it's
I
all
thought it
right.
was good.
It's the first.
We're
It's
still in
the
the
first
same
try.
show.
Good job.
I
Good
We're still in the
job.
same show.
I haven't done a Cartman impression in like 10 years because I haven't bothered to try. If I'm being entirely honest, but I'll work
No,
on it
you
and
are
I'll
now
do
the
more
official
Cartman.
voice.
The
of
official
Rob
voice of
Manfred.
Rob Manfred is going to be Cartman. I will work on it. And
Moving
it will
forward,
get better
Vince,
as we
Vince
go. Okay?
Gabrielson performing Rob Manfred as Cartman.
He's a dude playing a dude playing another dude.
Vince's one-man monologue. Come watch him in your local theaters.
That's right. Okay,
We're
so
selling tickets.
fuck you very much, Rob Manfred.
Yeah,
I mean, it just
think
makes no
Well
sense.
said.
I mean,
He
it just makes
doesn't.
no sense, right?
to me, it blows my mind is that this team has gone to countless playoffs, been super competitive. Moneyball system worked, but when you gut the team, get rid of the players, get rid of the coach, alienate the fan base, yeah, you're gonna get a crappy, shitty product for the last 2 years. That's exactly what they've been doing. I don't know. Obviously, Rob Manfred, whatever, fuck him. Apparently, he works for the
Rob
owner.
Fuckface. Yeah.
That's all he works for. He works for the owners. He doesn't work for anyone else. So I am curious though, because there's two things that come to this whole Vegas situation, right? They've got to get the $500 million in public taxpayers' money, right? They have to get owners to agree onto it, right? And I see we got a note here that says 23 out of 30 owners must agree to approve the relocation.
That is correct. Yeah.
It's already like I've already seen a forum of people trying to don't pay a billionaire, and they're trying to get Vegas citizens or Clark County citizens to sign this petition. The schools, okay? The Vegas schools or the Clark County schools are the worst schools in America. in America. They had no money, yet they're willing to just give money to a billionaire to build a park. Does that seem asinine?
Well, they don't,
I mean, that's
what's
ridiculous.
what's crazy is, you know, Las Vegas, they're given the money because they're gonna try to pass a tax. There's all kinds of taxes been passed, not just the Raiders, but I saw today somebody shared a article about Formula One, and there's all kinds of other stuff that they pass taxes to get arenas built, and they just keep adding to these hotel taxes. And there's only so much they're going to be able to take, where the citizens are like, we got all this debt, and our schools aren't that good, our healthcare system's not that good, and there's going to come a point where enough's enough. And the other point of it is, you know, baseball, this is a corporation. This is basically saying, this is Apple or Google or whoever saying, you know, San Francisco, if you really want us to stay, you're gonna have to build us a skyscraper. You know, you're gonna have to, because you know, this other city, they're offering us a skyscraper, so you're gonna have to cough that up. And that's completely wrong. That's not how business works. You know, cities, you know, the reason why the county fairgrounds and, you know, things of that nature were built was because of recreational purposes. You know, because we needed to get back into recreation, and there was grants and things of that nature designed by the federal government to do such things. We don't really see that as much right now. And people who are making the argument, you know, we kind of encountered this the other day, Tyler, where there's this misconception that the city of Oakland has all of this money to give. And we were trying to explain that a lot this money is coming from federal grant money, because there's so much infrastructure that needs to change. The shoreline, the bay shoreline needs to change. So there's some, you know, shoreline upkeep, you know, for erosion that the federal government is assisting with. There's some railroads and, you know, train stuff that needs to happen, some barricades. That's also being done through federal and state grants. So there's things of that nature that the federal and state government gives to cities and counties that have these large infrastructure projects. It doesn't necessarily go to the ballpark. It goes to everything around the ballpark, because if you build a neighborhood, it's not the builder's requirement to put a street there. It's the city's job to put the street there. You know,
Well,
and
one thing to note on that too is that the A's did raise what 385 million, something like that.
375, I think. But yeah,
375. Okay. One thing I just want to note there is that, say the A's walk away and they do get their deal in Vegas, the city of Oakland gets to keep that 375 for infrastructure for the city of Oakland. So yeah, it may suck that we lose a stadium, but it's a win that Oakland was able to get grant money and be able to try and fix what they've got going on. So there's a positive note that comes with them trying to get this money and acquire this money.
yeah, there's, you know, the city of Oakland's going to move on. The real estate here, the tech that's here, people can say all they want about San Francisco and Oakland and California law and things of that nature. And, you know, there are some problems. You know, there's definitely problems that are outside of sports and on politics, all right? But this is still a destination that people want to be in and live in, because of the weather, because of the environment, because of culture, because of all these things. And unfortunately, there's some ugly truth to our state in our local area. But the silver lining that I see is we can easily talk about San Francisco, which is not that far away. We could talk about what the Golden State Warriors did at Chase Center. We could talk about what the Sacramento Kings did with their new arena, San Diego, their new ballpark, the new Chargers and Rams stadium. These stadiums have changed districts and have brought massive amount of money in taxes and spending. You know, so the city of Oakland has an opportunity to use some of the profits that could come from a lot of this infrastructure and the A's, you know, being here and being committed here. You know, that's a lot of jobs. That's construction jobs, that's city jobs to keep roads paved. That's there are community benefits. There's like this arena where high schools and whatnot can use. The amount of visitors you'll get and have places to go, like restaurants and Jack London Square, and all of the benefits that you get with a new ballpark. Just look across the bay.
Yeah.
It has changed San Francisco for the better.
Well, China Basin was also not a place that you wanted to be at.
It was not
and
a good place to be.
China Basin is the place where you want to be at.
Now it's
Before and
like
after
happening.
games.
It's happening, and we want to be there. Fans want to be there. It's a great environment, and the city of Oakland deserves that environment. The city of Oakland deserves places to go. Like, there's not really, unfortunately, it's the only game in town now that all the teams have left. It'd be great to have something to do, something to hold on to.
Yeah. Well, any last thoughts for you, Vince, on this?
No, I think
I got
talked
many
this to
thoughts.
death.
We move
there's-
on when I say.
There's many thoughts that can be shared. We shared a lot of them on our emergency pod. I'm still
I'm gonna
pissed.
mute
I got
you
all my
all.
clothes. I got all my clothes. My A's clothes are in a box right now. Like, I'm not going to put any of it on for the foreseeable future. I think the only way I'm ever back on the as an A's fan, I think I'm done emotionally. The only way I'm ever going to be back is if the A's do end up staying in Oakland and John Fisher is gone. If one or the other happens, like if they move to Vegas but John Fisher is gone, I'm still out. If the A's stay in Oakland and John Fisher is still part of the team, I'm still out. I need both of those things to happen. Otherwise,
so it's Warriors in Sharks gear from here on out.
And Niners.
Oh yeah, I forgot about them. Sorry.
I got plenty of Niners shit too, man. I'm good.
The
So
other
are you
big
okay?
sport out there?
Yeah, I got some earthquake stuff. Fuck it, man. I'll be fine.
Wait,
But
I
no.
don't-
I mean, because they built their stadium. I still hate John Fisher. But I do have a couple of earthquakes things already.
those aren't
Just
getting
'cause I
boxed?
haven't. No, because they're staying. I'm still pissed at him, but it's a little different because the earthquakes aren't going anywhere. This Vegas move was the apex of my I'm done with it. So
Okay, that's fair.
Before
Do you
we
have a
move
Justin
on-
Braun jersey?
I do not. And it's a little too late to get one now at this point.
Sorry,
That's
what were you
okay.
saying, Tim?
before we move on real quick, Daryl had a good point in the comments here about collusion with baseball and the A's, and that's absolutely true because there are bylaws in all major sports that teams should not be tanking, and we see way too many baseball teams tank. It's not just the A's. It's many teams. I mean, look at the Houston Astros. They're good now, but I mean, there was a solid half decade where they just did not.
They were the
try-
last Stros before they were the trash Stros.
right, and that to me is just unacceptable. Where they purposely just burn everything down to the studs, start over, because even when you're a loser team, you're profitable. And that's what the A's proved last year, being the 5th most profitable franchise.
Fourth. They were top 5 for sure.
4th in all of baseball. That's an absolute lie that these teams are operating in the red. They're literally vulture capitalizing on this thing. Throw some money the team's way. It's not his priority. So he's just milking this franchise dry. That's absolutely against the contract that you signed when you're a baseball owner. And if you are a baseball owner and paying free agents and investing in your minor league system is too rich for your blood, well, guess what? You shouldn't own a ball team.
Yeah.
If it's too
Well, that's the thing.
expensive,
When
don't
you're
own the team.
When you're an owner, you're an investor. You're an investor along with other owners of the major league. If you're not investing and you're taking other owners' money in the revenue sharing, pretty sure that was one thing I want to say too. Is that I wonder how many owners are actually going to vote for the A's for two things. They don't want the A's to be competitive, right? We said this last
You don't
week.
want the Yankees.
But are owners attuned and upset that John Fisher keeps taking their money year after year? That are they willing to vote him out? I'm curious.
Okay.
Something to
Yeah,
think about.
we got to move on. We've hammered this a lot, and I think we're gonna keep hammering it every episode. for the foreseeable future at this point. But we should. There's still a lot of stuff we have to talk to, including a game we got coming at the end that I think you all are going to want to stick around for. So I think we need to switch gears.
Fair.
So that being said, we're going to just one quick note on the Sharks, and we started talking about it. Justin Braun, former Sharks defenseman, is retiring. He spent 9 years in San Jose. He is second only to Marc-Edouard Vlasic in blocked shots during the from the 9 years that he was here. He has the most goal. He had the most goals by a defenseman in the 2016 Stanley Cup Finals, including the game-tying goal in Game 2, which is the biggest win in San Jose Sharks history at this point. Donskoy had the game winner in overtime. Justin Braun got it to overtime. He's fifth all-time.
You mean when the Sharks got a gentleman sweep?
No, they went 6. They
that's
did
right.
win
We did go
another
6.
game after, but
That's right.
I mean, the first win in a Stanley Cup final, that's what I consider the biggest win of all time in the Sharks franchise history.
Fair enough.
At this point. The only way to top that would be to get the final win at this point. So that being said, he's also 5th all time in games played by a defenseman for the Sharks. And he was a very solid defenseman for a very long time, and we will miss him. So enjoy your retirement, sir. It's been a lot of fun watching, and just have the best day.
Have the best day.
Awesome. Have the best day.
And
that's
have
how
a
we're
good
gonna
day.
wrap that up. There's my hockey note. Any other hockey stuff you guys need to talk about before we move on?
It's
No, I'm
playoffs,
excited
and I
for
should
the
probably
draft.
be more in tune with what's going on right now.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, the A's have taken a lot of that. So
Right. Yeah.
I will pick up some playoffs. It's happening right now. So
Mhm.
shame on me for not having more notes
Yeah.
on that.
Same. Yeah. We'll try to get more NHL playoff talk as the playoffs go on. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of exciting stuff happening. We've just been distracted with Warriors and A's. Daryl's lighting up our chat too, real quick. I just want to say he was an Earthquake fan back in '75. That's awesome. That's when the team was founded. So way back then. Then MLS.
It's kind of like a Cleveland
soccer
Browns
went away,
thing,
but-
right? Like,
Yeah,
the Earthquakes left, and then this is a new Earthquakes or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is the third iteration of the Earthquakes, because the Earthquakes started with the North American Soccer League in the 70s. That league folded. And then when MLS came into existence in 96, they were the San Jose Clash for a couple of years, then
I
became
remember
the
that.
Earthquakes. And then that team ended up moving to Houston and became the Dynamo. And then 2 years later, they came back as a new expansion team again. So this is the third iteration of the
So
San
that
Jose
team that
Earthquakes.
left to Houston, do they get to keep all the championships?
No,
and all
no,
that
no,
stuff?
no,
Or
no,
is
no,
that-
no.
That's with this
The
team then?
Earthquakes still have those, all the history. They still have the 2 stars on their jersey
Oh,
for
cool.
the championships they won in 2001 and 2003.
That's cool.
So
Well,
yeah.
let's move on to our other soccer club, or should I say football club, Wrexham.
yeah.
We
Go
did it, baby.
Wrexham! Yeah. We need
We
to get a
have
soundboard in here, guys.
Super Paul Mullen basically secures us the win against Bromwood. So 3-1. It was a party on the pitch. Owners were crying, and it's so hard not to talk about the Oakland A's. It's so fucking hard. Owners are crying because you know that they invested a lot into this team to get out of the National League and into the European Football League 2. Ryan Reynolds has come out and said that my clothes still smell like champagne. I am just elated and excited. You know, him and Rob both said that they didn't know what they were doing when they bought this club. They just said, hey, it's for sale. It's a pretty fair price. We could do it. See what happens. Shits and giggles. We'll make a show out of it and make money, right? They have gone so invested into it that Ryan has bought a house in Wales to be closer to the team. They've invested so much money on players that are well above different league levels to get them over the hump of the National League Championship. You know, to see a city, a town really take into 2 people that are serious about their club. And it's what, the second or third oldest club?
Yeah, it's like the third oldest club, and
In all of
this is only
England?
their second season in charge as well. Second
Yeah.
full season in charge, so they've really turned it around real quick.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what the future has to hold for them. I've don't know who I was talking to about it, but they have a lot of players already that are in EFL 2, EFL 1 that are currently on the roster right now. So just to give some feedback here, the teams that moved on last year and are playing in the European Football League finished in like 4th and 6th respectively. So, and they don't have the same budget as Wrexham does. So with Wrexham's budget and the owners that are willing to invest, there's a good chance that they might be fighting for another championship in the EFL 2 coming next year.
Yeah.
So
They should be able to make some noise pretty quickly.
yeah, it's going to be fun to watch,
So
and I'm looking
is it
forward
kind
to
of
it.
the same rules if they place first in the EFL 2, they go to the EFL 1?
So they
That's correct. Yeah, it's like the same. It's like top 3, I think.
They take the top 3 teams
Yeah.
and they move on, and then same thing with the EFL 1. So they take the top 3 teams, they move to the championship, and then the top 3 teams from that move on to the Premier League. And there's no playoff. Only National League has playoffs.
Right.
Right.
So-
and
It's going to take them.
the-
It's going to take them
yeah.
2 to 3 years to get to about 3 years to get to the very top league.
It could.
It could happen in 3-4 years. Yeah, they could find their way all the way up there. I don't think it's going to happen that quickly, but obviously that is the stated goal that they have, is they want to get this team to the Premiership, and we'll see if that comes to fruition. There's still I did see a note that of all the EFL 2 leagues teams in the EFL 2,
Close the door.
their attendance is actually, even with one whole stand not in use, their attendance is still going to be at the top of that. So they're going to have plenty of money to work with going forward, and they can make some noise for sure.
Not to mention
Yeah,
that when you
I
get
just
into
find the
league, you get more
Wrexham
influx of money
thing
too.
to be so interesting because you have an ownership group that's committed to winning and they set their goals, and it's very similar to what like Joe Lacob, right? Joe Lacob bought the team, and we know about the trade and getting booed. We know about
It
that.
was the same sentiment with
Right,
these
but
two guys.
he came out and was like, we're gonna win championships, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and fans were like, motherfucker, you traded Monte Ellis, you bastard.
Well, what was interesting was, I mean, if you watched, Welcome to Wrexham, they go to the local pub that's clearly the #1 sponsor, and it is the sponsorship for their pitch as far as selling beers go. And the guys in there were like, I think you're doing a shitty job, to their face. And it's like,
I love it.
that's so cool that these two guys, Hollywood superstars in their own rights, television superstars in their own rights, and they had this random dude in Wales tell them that they made a shitty decision as an owner. And they said, okay, well, tell me what I need to do better. That's so cool.
Do you guys think like Wrexham and just like how big it's been a hit in the United States is possibly one of the watershed moments to create more interest in football, soccer?
I would
Oh,
argue that yes, but I also think that Ryan Reynolds was kind of inspired by seeing what the Dodgers did and how there was an influx of like celebrities that jumped on board to try and do it, mostly Magic Johnson, and then Derek Jeter jumping on board with the Marlins at the time, and you got shitty A-Rod jumping on with Minnesota,
The Timberwolves.
the Timberwolves. Yeah, so I think that's kind of been a big inspiration for Ryan and Rob, and but yeah, I think you might
Ryan
see a
and
more
Rob.
influx of it.
We know them.
Yeah,
They're
first
our
name
buds.
basis
They're our
only.
buds.
Pod pals.
That's right.
yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know what you're gonna get though. I mean, to get this National League team, yeah, that was a steal, but that's because they had a shitty owner who was literally driving the team to the ground. Shout out to fuck John Fisher. So it was just kind of a perfect storm. I don't know if that perfect storm is going to really happen again in the coming years, but I think it does open the doors to more celebrities wanting to invest in soccer clubs. For
Yeah.
sure.
Cool. Any
Yeah.
final thoughts, Vince?
I just want to note that we didn't actually say what the Earthquake score was. They lost at Real Salt Lake 3-1, but they're still in 5th place in the Western Conference. They're still in great position going forward. So that's a game you probably shouldn't lose, but we'll see if they bounce back this coming week.
And
That's
shit-faced
it.
John Fisher should sell the Earthquakes too. To
Absolutely.
An owner who
Yeah.
wants
Yeah,
to win.
100%.
So
Yeah.
Not just the A's. Sell the fucking Earthquakes too. Sell the
Yeah.
team. Keep John Fisher trending on Twitter. Don't let this go away. Sell the team. Sell the A's. Sell the Quakes. Get out of our sports, man.
Yeah.
We
Go
gotta
move
on
to
the
Vegas. Go move to
Don't move to
Vegas,
Vegas.
Fisher.
NFL.
Finally happened.
It finally happened.
Taking
Finally.
forever. It's finally happened.
Aaron to the Jets. Jets. Jets.
So here's the trade. Aaron Rodgers, the 2023 15th selection in the first round, and the 2023 fifth round are going to the Jets. Green Bay will be getting in return the number 13 pick in this year, a second rounder this year, a sixth rounder this year, and a 2024 conditional second round pick that will become a first if Rodgers plays 65% of offensive snaps for the Jets this season. So that's a pretty good haul for Green Bay. You're getting one, maybe hopefully two picks. If you're a Green Bay fan, you're getting a second rounder and a sixth rounder. You basically did a pick swap this year in the first round, and you get to move up a couple of spots because you went from 15th to 13th. So overall, I think this is a much better deal than what it took to get Brett Favre way back when. Brett Favre, I think, was just a fourth rounder. So Aaron Rodgers led to a lot more of a haul back than Brett Favre ever did. And that's
don't forget he got his wide receiver over there too.
That's right. And I think at least part of the reason why it's so high is just because a couple of years ago he won his fourth MVP. So he's still, even at 39 years old, he's still, kind of getting the job done. So we'll see what happens in New York Jets. Right now he goes from a division where he was easily the best quarterback to maybe tied for second, depending on how Tua plays going forward as well. So
yeah, Tua almost retired. Did you read that report?
I did see that. Yeah, I mean,
he probably should.
He probably should have. We talked about that too.
Should.
But,
I mean, that's what's scary.
Yeah, I mean,
Scary...
I think.
look at Steve Young. Look at Steve Young. That's a prime example.
Steve Young's career ended. I'm actually thinking about Varsity Blue. Not Varsity Blues.
No,
not Another Teen Movie. The movie making fun of Varsity Blues, where it said concussions until Billy Ray dies or whatever, and it's like every time he gets hit in the head, it goes from like 5 to 4 to 3 to 2, and it just ticks down like timeouts being used. So that's what I'm like afraid like Tua's got like 1, maybe 2 concussions left in him before he's done, and hopefully we don't see that ever again from him. Like I don't want him to get any more concussions, because at that point it's not worth it playing. But I would have retired.
Yeah, same.
But I'm also not an elite quarterback, so
go play.
Kind of tough to get that up, man. If you got it,
maybe he can do like a Kyler Murray and go play baseball. You probably make a hell of a lot more money now.
I don't need Tua to get hit in the head with a baseball either. So
okay,
yeah.
So there's our NFL news, right?
That's it.
That's it. Tyler, you have a couple of fun, weird but true sports stories.
If
Let's
we had
dive in real quick.
Music, I would say, Tim, turn on the game show music. We don't have that, so that'll be for season 4. So we're gonna incorporate you two into this fun month of weird but true sports stories, April edition. Sam, how tough are you?
I'm tough enough.
Can you fight a bear?
I
can't fight a bear either. So
I
Matt
could.
Duchene.
Should I?
On cocaine or not on cocaine?
That's true. Matt Duchene is probably one of the toughest guys I've ever seen. Matt Duchene plays for the Smash Nash, or the Nashville Predators, a hockey team in the NHL. And he's a wing, and sometimes wings stand in front of a net. And when they stand in front of a net, they're hoping that their teammates does a slap shot. In this case, we're talking about Dante Fabro. And that you deflect the slap shot into the goal to get a goal. Pretty common. It's a good way to trick the goalie and get a little deflection in there.
Joe Pavelski used to live in front of the net and got a ton of tip drill goals over his career, especially with the Sharks.
So Dante Fabro, his teammate, does a slap shot. Matt Duchene stands in front of it, gets hit with the hockey puck, and immediately realizes that something is wrong. He finds out that the hockey puck hit his glove and took off his fingertip.
Oh.
And the reason why he found his
Ow.
fingertip was missing is because it was still in the glove. And
Oh.
that's
Oh
playing
my
hockey,
gosh.
baby. So are you that tough?
Hockey players are another breed. Sam, your reaction, my friend.
Probably not.
Well, okay. Let's
Probably headed to the nurse's office.
let's think about the setting. You're on the ice. You can't feel anything. I mean,
Oh, you felt that. No,
Well,
you for sure felt that one.
I mean, but it's on ice.
I think it would gross me out more than anything, like the severed finger, and like I could still feel it moving around and like bone grinding against bone. You know, like I think I'd just be more grossed out than like in pain. I think
Yeah,
I'd just be like,
that's
I
fair.
gotta get my glove off and I need to move on because I feel my detached finger.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Detachable finger.
All right, so we're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna move on
Yeah,
to the next one
Daryl,
here.
it is brutal. Daryl, that is absolutely right. That's the perfect word. It is brutal. Next
So-
story. Let's move it on.
I have my reserved thoughts on things that Gen Z does, right? But this was pretty cool. So we're currently in 2023, and Gen Zers have thought, how do we pay our respects to the GOAT of the basketball world? Michael Jordan has been the inspiration for Gen Zers renting out goats and going to their high school proms with a goat.
What?
That's so cool. I love these
Pretty
clever
cool.
little
I
bastards.
haven't reserved thoughts about Gen Zers, but that's pretty cool. Hopefully the goats were fed and taken care of properly, but I think that's a pretty cool way to not only nod the 23 year in Michael Jordan, but as a stunt and an act, I appreciate that. I love that. Last but not least, Fernando Alonso.
Oh.
This isn't necessarily a maybe true. It's more of a tabloid at this point. But Fernando Alonso is arguably one of the hottest drivers in Formula One, also one of the oldest drivers on the grid.
Hottest, like you mean attractive or what?
Could be. Hey, Vince. Karma is a cat. Karma is. Wait, Taylor doesn't have a boyfriend anymore.
No.
Neither does Fernando Alonso, and the two have been linked to be dating each other. And Fernando Alonso is leaning into it, baby. He's leaning into it hardcore. And it is taking the internet by storm. And I want to know, Vince, do you think Fernando Alonso is the right man for T-Swizzle?
No, because there is no right man for her. She's the right man for her. She can do whatever the hell she wants. If she was the man, then she'd be the man. Yeah.
He just want to ride.
No, so the story, just to tell you, Vince, I mean, obviously it's a troll job at this point, but Taylor Swift broke up with her boyfriend. Fernando Alonso broke up with his girlfriend at the same
Again?
time. And it just
He just
became a
wants
joke.
to date her, I think, right? Yeah.
Sure, but you know what? It became a meme, and then Fernando Alonso is pretty funny at being a troll at certain things. Picked it up, and now he's posting things on the social media of Taylor Swift songs and him sitting there, and it's great. I love it. I love that he's leaning into it.
Damn, Daryl just said he could do so much better.
Don't you dare. So disrespectful. Nobody can do better.
Oh, shots fired!
Nope.
Thanks,
That's not right.
Daryl.
Daryl, you're cut
Thanks.
off. You're cut off. Nope. Taylor,
Damn.
don't you dare.
Damn.
You know what though I love? You know what I love about this though, Daryl, is that Fernando Alonso is like me. He's a short king, and I love Fernando Alonso for doing this because Taylor Swift is much taller than him.
She's like 8'4", blonde hair to the floor, man.
Right.
That's another song lyric.
That was my weird but true sports stories of the month. Thank you guys
Okay.
for
Good
entertaining it.
round. And
All
Come
right.
back next month.
you got something special for
I
us, buddy.
Yeah.
do. It is NFL draft week, and I thought that in honor of the NFL draft. We could do our own draft. We did this last year with like Marvel movies. We're bringing it back this year. We're going to be doing sitcoms. We are drafting our favorite sitcoms of all time.
Yep.
And I am super excited. We I spun a randomizer wheel, and it turns out that your boy Vinny G gets the first pick. Tyler will be getting
Oh,
the
I
second.
wonder why.
Collusion.
The NBA
I
and
sent you guys
Collusion.
the video.
Collusion.
I sent you the video.
Let's
the
double check the
NBA.
wheel.
Frozen ball.
No,
I couldn't see that
And then-
video, and I have an Android with you.
and okay, whatever. We're doing it in a snake draft, so I'm still screwed. I still gotta wait 6 picks between my picks, so whatever. First it'll be me, then Tyler, then Sam, then Tim, and then we will snake it back. Tim, then Sam, then Tyler, then me, and we will go through until we have our entire team of sitcom set, and we're gonna have a lot of fun doing this. And I am going to be sharing my screen because your boy's a big old nerd, and he created a
Show it.
spreadsheet.
Show it, baby.
It's the Vinny
There you go.
spreadsheet. Oh, look at that. It's so
Look
beautiful.
at that cute.
Look
little-
at it.
You know what you need to do is put a
qué
box in there,
bonita.
Vince,
What's
with
that?
with our logo. You need to put
Ooh.
our faces.
Yeah.
on there, buddy.
Yeah,
Oh.
Okay.
I
Customize
also
it.
want to nitpick your thing here.
Uh-huh.
Why is Sam not like, I don't know, a sports team of his color?
Because that's Warriors, kind of Warriors-ish. I didn't want to
Okay,
do yellow
okay.
on the background.
Okay, that's fair.
So
That's fair.
I went with blue.
Well,
It's
why?
a little
Uh,
Padres powder blue, but it's okay.
Yeah,
Why-
yeah. It's. I mean,
It,
I needed it
kind
to
of reminds
pop,
me of
though.
the Chargers, which gets under my skin. But you know,
Okay,
okay Vince.
Vince, why is my color diarrhea yellow? Come on,
It's
man.
orange. It's orange. I went.
It's
I
to
went-
It's
symbolize
not
your
orange.
kids and their
Tim,
youth.
you said you were a Giants fan initially when you first started talking,
This
so
is
I gave
true.
you orange.
This
Okay.
is- Thank you. I appreciate
Okay.
it.
All right. Are we all settled? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
I'm
am
ready.
first on the clock.
Collusion.
All right. All right.
All right,
and
hold
so-
on, hold on.
Yeah.
All right, never mind.
You got anything? No, you're good.
No, I was gonna say something, but never mind.
Okay. So the show that I'm going to pick as the 101, my absolute favorite sitcom. It's better than a lot of shows that are similar to it. I'm going with Parks and Rec.
Dang
Oh,
it!
you son of a bitch.
Ah,
All right, that's fine.
Yeah. So there we are. That is your first pick, Parks and Recreation. It is off the board. And now, Tyler, you are on the clock, my friend.
Well, I definitely thought that you were going to go one or two of my top 2 picks. So, yeah, that seems about right. I had a feeling that was going to go. Just to really piss off Sam and these powder blue, Charger color scheme he's got going on, I'm going to go with Ted Lasso.
Son of a bitch.
ah, yeah.
Great
Mm,
pick. Great
Damn.
pick.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Fuck.
All
You know
right, it's a-
what? You guys got lists. I'm flying off the seat of my pants, and that's my own fault. But I'm still sad. that I
Okay.
didn't
Just
care.
Google
Google it.
shows.
Just Google
Ted
it.
Lasso is off the board. Sam, it's your turn.
Daryl, it is McLaren
Oh.
Racing Team colors. You are right.
How much time do I get?
30 seconds.
Hurry up. Hurry up.
30 seconds. I want to know what some people would pick in the chat. Who would what's their
You gonna let the
Wanna-
people choose your first pick and not your
No,
second?
no.
pick?
I'm just saying,
Wow, ballsy
they
move.
need
Yeah,
to start
that's right.
throwing in-
Daryl, give us a couple of your picks. I think I saw Michael in there too, in the chat earlier.
I want to hear what they're gonna pick. All right,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Mike
make my
Barber.
pick. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make my pick right now.
Okay. What do you got?
I'm gonna set it up a little bit. You can see my background. It's kind of changing week to week. My garage is gonna become a man cave / bar, and I'm heavily influenced by Cheers. So I'm taking
Ooh.
Cheers, baby.
No surprise
I knew he was
there.
gonna take that.
Yeah.
If Ted Lasso was off the table, I had a feeling he was gonna take Cheers.
Cheers, baby. I mean, it's a total package. It ran for 11 seasons. It spawned another show that went 11 seasons. They have so many awards. It's one of the most highest rated sitcoms, awards. It's great. It's fantastic. Cheers. I love my first round draft pick. We're going to win the World Series, Super Bowl, NBA Finals all at once, guys.
All right. That's not a bad pick. I
All at
didn't
once.
have all at once. Tim,
All
you
at
are
once on
on
the
the
same day.
board. You're on the clock. What you got 2 picks. So what are your 2?
Oh,
picks?
Tim, I think Daryl's picking your shows for you. He's got MASH, All in the Family, Taxi.
Cheers is already off the
very
board, but-
tempting. Very tempting. But I'm gonna go with another Michael Schur sitcom that, in my opinion, stuck the landing because he planned ahead. The Good Place.
God
The
damn
Good
it! I
Place.
knew you were gonna do it.
That was on my list too.
That was
Son of a
my like
bitch.
that was my number 3 show.
Right. Well, it's mine now. Ha! Take my Parks and Rec.
That's right.
And then I'm gonna go like highbrow, and then I'm gonna go lowbrow. Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
You son of a
Oh,
bitch! Oh, ooh. We're finding a new person to do our media for us. Fuck this guy.
Damn.
Excellent pick. Always sunny.
Oh, bitch.
Okay. Sam is back on the clock. What do you got?
I already got my pick. You're all idiots. I'm the greatest boyfriend in the world. I'm taking my girl's favorite show, Friends.
Friend,
Oh, okay.
Friends
I
is
had it on there.
overrated as fuck.
how
but okay.
many
That's
of us
fine.
have them?
That's fine, but I'm a winner. In front
It was
of my
on the
girl's
list,
eyes.
but I had it at like 18. So how about it?
You know what? That's a value pick, Vince. I just picked a Hall of Fame
That's
show
a value.
in the second round. See you in the finals, buddy.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay.
All right. I am a little torn here. But you know what? I found this show first before I found the other show. So I'm going to go with How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, yeah. Not bad. Not bad. How about How I Met Your Father? Huh?
Absolutely
How
not.
about that one?
No, that can burn. I'm okay.
Okay.
Pass on that one. Hard pass.
All right. Well, you guys are a bunch of idiots because you let my number 2 and my number 4 fall to me. So I am going to take with my second round pick, The Office.
You can
Okay,
keep
you know
it.
what? Vince,
Yeah,
Vince, you're gonna
I'm
hate
watching
me.
it. I'm rewatching it right now. There are a couple like the last couple of seasons obviously aren't as strong, but seasons 2 through 6 especially, they still hold up really, really well, man. I tell you, I am thrilled that I got to that The Office fell to me this far.
Vince, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I've seen 2 episodes of The Office.
Get
I get
out.
shamed for it all
Get
the
out.
time.
It is absolutely the perfect cringe comedy type situational comedy. I love it
Yeah.
so much.
Okay, so Vince, you're obviously talking about the American one, but we should have had you
Yeah.
specify which one, the British
Fine.
or the American.
Watch.
Oh, definitely American.
Yeah.
He's going to American.
Yeah. US. There.
Yeah.
Okay. There. It's clarified on our draft board.
There we go.
All right. So now for my second pick.
Don't you fucking do
I'm-
it. Don't you fucking do it.
I'm looking back and forth. I got 2 different ones right here. Which one do I God, it's so close. I am going to play the game. I think one of these will come back to me. No, you know what? Neither of them are going to come back to me now that I'm looking at it. I just got to go with my gut, and I'm going to take Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, you bitch! That's what I was gonna take.
Oh.
I literally was gonna.
So
Oh, you.
I am on a Mike Shore bender right now.
Right?
I got Parks and Rec, The Office, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Dude,
Tim, you ruined by
he-
taking the good place from me.
Michael
but-
Schur, he has such a good track record. There's only like one sitcom that was kind of like, that was a miss.
I would. You know what's funny is my previous pick. I was gonna take Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I was like, nah. I've seen How I Met Your Mother first, then Brooklyn. God, I should just. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I should have Bruce Bochy.
You played the game and then you got bit by the game. So, Tyler, where are you at now? What's your next pick?
Arrested Development.
Arrested Development is an
dang.
excellent.
I was thinking about
excellent.
doing that one.
Okay. All right, let me. Development.
Aaron, what is WKRP?
It's an older like '90s sitcom.
Well, yeah.
God,
yeah.
who was it?
I think it's way before the 90s.
Oh no, it was '90s because what's his name was on it and died when God, he was on SNL.
No, dude, that's news radio.
You're talking about
Talking
News
about
Radio.
Farley?
Oh no,
yeah.
no,
Or
you're right. You're
Belushi?
right. That was News Radio. That was
Yeah,
News Radio. You're right.
the
I
other
got it
one was
mixed up.
also like it was like Cincinnati. Like WKNR or something in Cincinnati.
WKRP. That's the one that
Yeah.
Daryl suggested.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
was some of his favorites. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I had it mixed up. You're right. You're absolutely right. I was thinking News Radio. Okay, so
Damn it, give
where are we
away.
at? Sam, you're back on the clock. What do you got?
I'm kind of torn about like picking shows just for like kind of like what I did with Friends, like getting the value, or picking something that I actually watched. You know what, man? I'm gonna go with a show that I actually watched. I used to watch this with my parents all the time, and it was Married with Children. I used to watch that show
Oh,
all
okay.
the time with
Good
my
one.
parents.
Respectable.
Yeah, yeah.
Respectable.
All right. Excellent pick. Tim, you are on the clock.
I'm on the clock. Okay, I think a lot of the stuff I'm picking is pretty new. Once I finally was able to watch the entire series of this, I was just like, this is a phenomenal show. Silicon Valley.
Why do you keep doing this to me, Tim? Golly. Oh my
That's
god.
a great
That's gonna be
show.
my next
Come on.
pick. That was gonna be my next pick. That's fine.
You
It's fine.
might. I don't know. I don't know how much you might hate me for the next one, but we'll
Don't you do it. Don't you do
Do
it.
it. Do it. Do it.
I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm doing.
Don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. You take what you want. You take the best show available to you.
All right.
We're halfway through the draft, by the way.
I like genre stuff, especially if it leans in and it kind of makes fun of it. What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh,
Excellent. That's an excellent choice.
Tim, we should probably hang out more because you're picking all the same shows that I would watch, and it's pissing me off.
Sorry, but yeah, we should.
Okay,
Holy-
so clearly I got to extend this out a little bit. Excuse me while I fix some of my formatting because I guess some of our episode titles are a little longer. All right, there we go. That is another excellent pick by Tim.
Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, Sam, you are on the clock.
All right. Question for the referee,
Okay.
who's also a cheating ass commissioner, putting himself first.
God
Does
damn it, I didn't
animated
cheat. I
count?
swear. I'll give you the knife to stab me if I'm lying to you.
Does animated count or no?
Absolutely,
animated?
it counts.
Yeah,
All right,
Absolutely,
yeah.
Simpsons.
It's The Simpsons. That's an excellent pick.
Yeah.
Good value. Good value. You're getting a lot of value, Sam.
All right. I will be remiss if I don't, on a sports podcast, pick this show, and I'm picking The League.
Dang it!
Oh.
Oh, come on,
The
man.
league is so good.
It's so good.
I'm pissed at
I think it's a
myself 'cause
great quality pick for what I got in my later rounds.
I didn't have the league on my list, and I'm
Good
pissed
pick,
at myself for
good
not having
pick.
it on my list.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's such a.
It's so good. Oh god damn it.
and,
I watch it
and,
every year right before we start a
Yeah.
fantasy football. I watch it. God
and,
damn
and,
it.
and coming from somebody who knows nothing about fantasy football, I love it. I love that show.
Yeah, it's a great
So
show.
funny.
Okay, so I am back on the clock, and miraculously, my number 2 overall sitcom came back to me. I didn't think it would come back, but here it is. I get 2 picks. I don't know how I can possibly avoid it. I'm taking Community.
Oh, I
Oh,
thought about
there
that.
you go.
I thought
You know
about
what,
that.
Vince?
Yeah,
I try
like,
to watch
seasons-
that show. I can't get into it.
I love the shit out of it. It's the first 3 seasons are top tier. Season 5 is also really good. They call season 4 the gas leak year, and it's just because it's a little bit off. But then season 5
I
they
can't
kind of
even get to
refined
his
it. It's
new
great.
show, the Animal Control show.
Yeah. No, I get it, man. I get
yeah,
it.
I just couldn't get into it. Anyway,
yes.
what's your next
So now I'm looking at my list, and it's I'm seeing that I think I can go with a cartoon now at this point.
pick?
and
I know what you're doing.
I think it's time. I biffed the voice earlier, but I'm doing it. I'm taking South Park.
yeah.
Oh,
Mm,
yep.
okay,
There you go.
okay.
you know,
Yeah.
South Park had to be taken at this point. It's a top tier show.
I have an animated show. I think the writing is very smart. I think it's funny. But I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go vintage because I think that writing for this show, animated wise, is also smart and funny. And I'm gonna go with Futurama.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah, it's a good one.
Futurama is spectacular. It's also on my list.
Damn. That was a good one.
All right. Did that ruin your plans a little bit there, Sam?
No, I just feel really bad that I forgot about it.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Well,
That's how I
you,
feel about the league, yeah.
you are like shooting from the hip, so
Yeah.
I am. I'm really trying to.
I actually didn't have Futurama, but my pick that I was gonna do, I thought about the writing and I was like, oh, dude, the writing of Futurama is just as smart and also has been around longer.
Right.
The Three Stooges is dating yourself, Daryl, but we won't hold you against that.
no.
You know what? MASH, dude, is like my all-time least favorite show I've ever watched. Just the sound of the introduction. That.
Are you trolling Daryl?
Dude, no, I love Daryl, but he's our number one fan. But, you know, I don't know. It's just something about MASH that it does not resonate with me. I think it's more of a generational show. I don't get it. I don't get how any of it works. It wasn't very entertaining for me. But anyway, I think I'm gonna stick with shows that I've actually watched. This is kind of showing me that I don't watch that much sitcoms. I mostly watch kind of like the crime shows, you know, the Game of Thrones, the True Detectives, stuff like that.
Daryl says, "Oh, Sam, we are done.
We're done.
Done.
That's it.
Shots fired.
Done.
Friendship
Daryl's like
over."
shots fired.
I actually own a VHS tape of In Living Color. I don't know how I acquired it, but
Nice.
it's great.
Is that a sitcom or sketch comedy?
Yeah,
I
I was
found
having
that more
questions
under
about
sketch
that.
comedy, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of funny stuff in there though, for sure.
I'm gonna take a show that if reruns are on, I'm probably not changing the channel, and that's Seinfeld. I will still.
Okay.
I'm not gonna seek it out because I don't really seek out too many shows to begin with, but I still enjoy watching a good episode of Seinfeld.
All right.
Tim.
Well, Tim, we're getting toward the end of this. You are on your last two picks. What are we gonna do? Close it out for you. Closing out your board.
Yeah, I'm kind of conflicted because I feel like this is a perfect opportunity to promote a show that was short-lived. They only gave it one season on Hulu. And I was very pissed when I was hoping that they were gonna do some kind of like protest, like bring this back, but Reboot, man, Reboot, such a good show.
That was really good.
And
Reboot.
why the hell did they cancel it? Anyway, I'm gonna
I actually
take a
thought you were
breath.
gonna go with something else, Vince. I mean, Tim, but that's actually a great show. I was a huge fan of Reboot.
Okay.
Daryl, Law and Order is not a sitcom.
I think he's responding to what when I said I watched
The crime
a lot of
shows,
crime
yeah.
shows.
Okay,
Oh,
that's fair.
okay.
That's fair.
Yeah. So there's a 20-second. We got that 20-second-ish delay. So yeah.
That's
okay.
fair.
Oh,
My
right,
mom
so-
was a huge SVU fan, so
Oh man, so take the
All
glass.
right. So just for those of you listening at home and not actually watching this on the YouTube, Tim, your team is The Good Place, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Silicon Valley, What We Do
Bitch.
in the Shadows, and
Bitch.
Reboot. You are on your final pick. What is it going to be, my friend?
this is such a hard choice. I'm gonna go with my Ted Danson streak and go with Becker.
wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's not what I had, but
No,
but
that's interesting.
It's such a great show. It's like nobody remembers it, but man, Ted Danson plays like this asshole, and he's so good.
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I vaguely remember
No,
it.
Ted Danson is like a legit badass actor. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just TV. Like he's a wonderful talent.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
Sam,
My final
last pick. Let me just recap your draft board
Yes,
going into
sir.
your last pick. You have Cheers, Friends, Married with Children, Simpsons, and Seinfeld.
My final pick is going to be a current show.
Okay.
I just think it gets writing absolutely right. It's a lot of fun. It's also another Philly show. Abbott Elementary.
Yeah.
Take that off my list. Huh?
I
Damn.
totally forgot about that one. Yeah. It's so good.
That's a great choice. It's getting a lot of heat right now, and I'm sure it is a very new show, so it doesn't quite have the length that a lot of these other ones have, but it's certainly, there's no reason why it can't get there in the next few years.
This show's great,
So
amazing.
So good.
All right, let's go. Let's just rip this Band-Aid off here.
All right, Tyler, last pick. You have on your team so far Ted Lasso, How I Met Your Mother, Arrested Development, The League, and Futurama. What is your final pick?
I was gonna do an animated show, one of the likes of Futurama, but you know what? I'm gonna do a pick for Mama, because growing up, my mom used to make me watch this show all the time. That I can recite lines from the show. I know all the characters' names. I know all the love interests. I know all of it, and I'm gonna go with the Golden Girls.
Ah, yeah. There you go.
Golden Girls is really funny though.
Yeah.
It's a smart
Oh,
writing
absolutely.
too.
Fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out Murder, She Wrote too.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. All right, so I have quite the decision on my hands. There's a lot of really good sitcoms that are on my list that didn't get drafted. And I think I'll just do a rapid fire at the end of just we can say any of the sitcoms that we missed that we should have
I got
done
one.
before.
Yeah, I got
Um,
one.
I got two.
But that being said, I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go with Schitt's Creek.
Ah,
Oh,
yep.
that's a good one.
That's
I
a
didn't have
good
my
one.
list, but that is a good one.
Yeah.
Schitt's
actually
Creek to
never
close out my
seen it.
list. So my to recap, I have Parks and Recreation, The Office, US, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Community, South Park, and Schitt's Creek. I feel great about my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My final list. So yeah, let's just throw some shows out there that didn't get
The
picked.
three that I had that it's a sitcom, but then it got really serious. BoJack Horseman was one that I was thinking about, but then it
Oh,
kind of got
yeah.
serious in the end, and it kind of felt like I was going to therapy.
Right.
Like every show.
Yeah, Rick and Morty was another one.
Right.
Yeah.
Party Down, which only lasted 2 seasons.
Oh, yeah. I was going to pick. Yeah.
Mhm.
That was a good one.
And then as a sports podcast, Eastbound Down.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's great. I had Archer, Dairy
Okay.
Girls,
Yeah.
You're the Worst. That's another one that's highly underrated.
If you're
that I
into
think
Dairy
everybody-
Girls, then Sex Education would be a good one too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so Sex
Also,
Education, yeah.
Netflix did a remake of One Day at a Time, and it is phenomenal. And I
Yeah.
think that doesn't get enough love. And if some of the other shows on my list had been taken, I would have taken that with my final pick. But Schitt's Creek was staring at me, so I had to do it.
Hey, Daryl said, how do you get away with calling it that, Vince? I don't know what he's talking about.
Calling what?
I don't know. Schitt's Creek? Is that what he's
Schitt's
talking
Creek? Yeah, SCHITT. That's the
It's their
that's
last
the
name.
it's the last name of one of the characters, and his family. It's named after.
No,
his
I
family.
know.
Yeah.
Is- I-
Well,
I
I'm
guess-
explaining it for the people.
Okay.
For the people.
Yeah.
So that's
You
how.
know what I forgot about? You guys mentioned a couple of them, but when you Tim, when
Yeah.
you picked Reboot and you said the one season, I thought you were gonna go Freaks and Geeks.
Oh, okay.
That's
I
a
thought you were
good
going Freaks
one.
and
Yeah, that would've been
Geeks,
good, yeah.
because that's a show that should have came back for another season.
Yeah.
I think some honorable mentions that we weren't gonna pick. New
hold
Girl.
on. I got one more honorable mention. Was
Okay.
Mama's Family.
Yeah,
Mama's
yeah.
Family
I was
is
thinking about that one. And
Funny
Night Court.
shows-
Night Court.
Night Court. Night
Well,
Court's
Night
back.
Court's back.
It's
No,
back.
no, the old one. I don't care about the new one. The old one.
Tim, what are some that you think we left off?
Night Court. That was the only one. That was the
All
one
right,
I was like, I don't know
think
which one to pick.
Yeah, I mean, I want to shout out New Girl also, 30
Yeah.
Rock,
Okay,
Big
yeah,
Mouth,
yeah,
Big
30
Mouth.
Rock,
That's another
yeah.
cartoon one that's great.
Family Guy.
Scrubs,
Family Guy, Scrubs.
Family Guy.
Oh, Scrubs, duh. Damn.
Modern
Scrubs is a good one,
Family.
too.
That one started off hot at least. It kind of fizzled at the end there, but it was still, it's those first couple of years were really good, at least for sure.
Can we
Trailer
redo
Park
the entire
Boys.
thing?
Trailer Park Boys.
Trailer
is another
Park
one.
Boys.
I'm surprised
Fleabag.
none of you guys picked like Full House and
No,
Yeah.
not the
that
family
nature.
ones. Yeah, no, I wanted to
I
pick.
picked
actually
the
good
old
ones.
school one. I picked the Golden Girls.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean
Right,
that's
right.
that was like prime time. That wasn't like family time.
yeah. Or for
That's
like
fair.
Family Matters, Step by Step.
Yes, some of those.
Sister,
Hey,
Sister.
you know what's a show they need to bring back? I
Well,
swear
we
to
should
God, is Hanging with Mr. Cooper. That would be the
Hanging with
one.
Mr. Cooper. Yeah.
Nobody said Bel Air.
No,
I didn't even watch it.
or Fresh
You never
Prince
watched
of
that growing
Bel-Air.
up? Fresh
Yeah.
Prince of Bel Air, the original,
thought you meant
not the
the new
reboot.
one.
Yeah, not the reboot. The
I
old
thought you
one.
meant the one that's like all scary.
No, the
Right.
reboot.
It's
If you
all
didn't watch the
dramatic.
Fresh Prince when he
Fresh
was saying
Prince.
goodbye to the house. Oh my God!
Yeah. It was
Right in the
heartbreaking.
feels. Right in the feels.
Hey
All
guys,
right.
I don't know if you guys were watching the game Milwaukee Miami, but Miami just came back and won.
Oh shit!
114
Those
119.
3-1.
Holy crap.
Wait, Milwaukee came back or Miami?
Miami.
So it's
Miami
3-1
was
Miami.
down. And Miami came back and won.
So-
they now
so-
lead the series 3-1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we're getting at. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Holy.
Nice to finish on some sports news there too. But I had a lot of fun with this draft, guys. This was
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
fun.
We
And-
got to do one where like Saturday morning cartoon draft.
Right?
Oh, I'm all in. Daryl, thank you for joining us tonight. If Michael wasn't here earlier, thank you for joining us as well. And anybody else who didn't comment but it was in the stream, thank you for listening and thank you guys for watching as well.
Yeah.
Sam, you want to send us off?
Yeah, real quick, guys. I just want to say keep the energy behind what's going on in Oakland. Keep trending John Fisher, Dave Calvel, add Rob Manfred to that. And let's keep the hashtag going with that is Oakland Forever. So let's keep it going. With that said, thank you everyone for joining us. You can check us out on our social media, SVT Sports Pod. With that, we'll see you guys next week. Same time, live stream, YouTube. Slide into our DMs and please continue to interact with the show. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Loving doing this. This is a great time.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Spirit fingers.